The What's Buzzin podcast. I'm your host, Sam Degnan, and along with me, Michael Fraley and Will Mortensen. So today we have two special guests. Zach Slavitt has made his return from yesterday, and he's brought David Bix with him. So, David, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about you?
Hey, everyone. I'm David Bix. I'm a senior at Blake, buddies with all these guys. Next year, I'm going to Wash U in St. Louis, where I'll be studying economics and political science. I play basketball and ultimate frisbee. I consider myself a movie connoisseur. Me and Mike get in many arguments, same with Zach, about different comedies and movies. So I'm excited to be here on the podcast and interact with this huge fan base.
So thanks, David. Today we're doing something that actually I've been really looking forward to for ever since we started the podcast. We're doing a comedies tier list. So some of the best comedies that have come out in the last 20 years. Today we're gonna rank them into 6 separate tiers. So Zach, you want to explain a little bit more about this?
Yeah, so basically we're just gonna run down the list. I'm gonna say a movie, or someone's gonna say a movie, like say 21 Jump Street. Everybody's gonna share what tier they have, maybe a little if they feel passionately, maybe a little bit about it. We can respond, argue, see we kind of free flowing, and at the end we're gonna average out each of the movies. We're gonna give each tier a score, an average amount. We're gonna make a group tier list that's gonna represent our overall opinion.
So the 6 tiers we have right now are F tier / not seen, like if you haven't seen the movie. But I think, Zach, you said it's like we're not going to include F tiers in if you haven't seen them in the rankings or in like yeah. And then D tier, I think that's more of just like this is how I just did it, but like average movies or like ones that like you thought were okay and that you wouldn't see them again. And then C, which is like pretty good, but like not great. B is like really good comedy. A tier is like really high quality comedy. And then S tier, I think we've reserved 1 S tier per person out of the 20 movies we've seen. So those are the 6 tiers. What's the first one we have? Is it 21 Jump Street?
Jump Street.
Yep.
All right, Mike, what'd you have for this one?
So I'll just be quick here. I have this as an A tier movie. I think Jonah Hill, we love Jonah Hill on this podcast. We all think he's hilarious. I think this is prime Jonah Hill. Not quite as good as super bad Jonah Hill, but he's pretty close. Ice Cube's character is another hilarious part of this movie, is the captain. Yeah, I think this is great. It's such a stupid plot, but I mean, gets said about pretty much any of these movies. Yeah, I love all the characters in this movie, especially Jonah Hill.
Channing Tatum's also pretty good in this movie too. Like I didn't think, I was like, when I first watched this, I was like, Jonah Hill's gonna be funny and like Ice Cube's gonna be great, but like Channing Tatum was surprisingly funny. Is like
yeah,
the big guy who's just pretty stupid, but he's pretty funny.
I love the part 2 where it's like, so they're at some lunch or something, and I forget why exactly, but like Ice Cube's character is like super pissed off, and he's like, he goes up to the buffet line and starts getting food and like throwing it at his plate, and he like knocks the
That's
whole.
22 Jump Street, isn't it?
Hold on, Mike. Now it's 22.
That's 22.
It's because
They blend together. They blend together.
Okay, they do. Yeah, they're very similar. They're very. Are you sure that's 22?
It is 22.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
college.
God.
Jonah dated his
Anyway,
daughter.
I think 21's easy A tier for me.
All right.
Yeah, I also put it in the A tier. I'm gonna disagree with Mike about the plot being stupid. I actually like the plot. I think it's a good movie.
Well, hang on now. It's stupid, but it's like funny stupid. I'm not saying it's a stupid, like the whole thing is stupid.
I don't know. I'd say Billy Madison is funny stupid, but 21 Jump Street's more like it's not necessarily fully believable, but like I think it's a legit plot.
Yeah.
I mean, more than Billy Madison, yeah, but
That's not a very high bar to set.
not a high bar.
Yeah, I'll go off. I'll go next. I actually have 21 Jump Street as a B tier movie. I think it's pretty original. The Channing Tatum Jonah Hill duo is better than I expected. But it's not like it's not one of my favorite comedy movies, especially as I look down this list. So Yeah, that's why I have it as a B.
I also have it as a B. I mean, again, I really like it. I think the intro scene is really funny, and like getting to know them as they go through like the police force. It's really funny. And then, but it's just like it's one I'd watch again. But again, if I look down the list, like there's a couple more movies I'd rather put over the top in A tier. I think it's like a high B tier for me.
I had it as a B tier, and actually just like thinking about it, I had to switch it up to an A. It's just way too good. It's like one of the most rewatchable movies, like not even just comedies, but movies in general. Just great performances from everyone in the cast, and it's just kind of I don't know, it's kind of a genius movie. It's just like hilarious. Yeah, A tier.
Everyone loves Jonah Hill in this pod. Like if you come on this pod and don't love Jonah Hill, like just get out of here.
Yeah.
Old school. I will start this off. I have not seen this movie. Sorry, not seen this movie.
Me neither.
Really, two of us have not seen this movie.
I feel like I feel pressured that I should see it.
Yeah, you should. I'm giving it a B tier. Really good movie. Wouldn't say it's on the same level as 21 Jump Street, but better than most of these movies, I'd say. And I definitely watched it again, and I have. So, B tier.
Yeah, I can go. I have seen this movie. I love this movie. I have it as a B tier as well, just because the plot is like there's virtually no plot. There's no like the plot, like there's no like build up to like some finale scene. Kind of just peters out at the end. But there are so many just like really hilarious individual scenes in this movie that it's something I've watched over and over again recently. So I have to give it a B tier. I think that's a respectable rating.
And I have seen the movie. I'm gonna actually give it a C tier. I think it's very, very good. Now C tier is still like very strong. But if you compare it to these other comedies, I think it just doesn't stand up next to them because, you know, like Mort said, there's virtually no plot, and I think there's only so much the characters. And Will Ferrell is great in it, and you know the scene where he gets shot with like the tranquilizer and starts ruining the poor kid's birthday party, or like starts going streaking in the street where no one else is. Like he's great, but it's just like there's no plot, so it's a C tier on my end.
I feel like anything with Will Ferrell is just like something I gotta watch. Mike, he better be on your top 5 comedic actors. If he's not, we're gonna have problems.
I don't think that's something you have to worry about.
Okay, what's next? Super bad.
Which for me is the easiest tier.
That's fair. I have this A. Again, Jonah Hill. It's just prime Jonah Hill. The liquor store scene, all-time classic. Yeah.
I mean, people who watched my top 5 movies like know that this is easily an S tier for me because it was in my top 5. Zach, you were actually the one who introduced me to this movie. I think it was a couple years ago, and I've watched it maybe 5 or 6 times now. It's just so good. All the stuff like Seth Rogen, Bill Hader are just great. McLovin's just he's kind of become like a meme and an icon at this point. And it's just hilarious. There's not really like a dry scene in this movie too. Like all the performances are great. It's just so funny.
Yeah, I actually I haven't seen this. I saw this movie a few years ago. I wouldn't say it's my favorite comedy, but I still give it an A rating. Like you said, Degnan, there's just not a dry scene. McLovin's just hilarious. Like it's got to be in it.
Yeah.
This is my closest thing to an S tier without being an S tier. So for me, it's an A, just because I think there's one comedy lower on the list, which I'm sure you guys know which one I'm talking about, that I personally find better. But it's just like a fantastic movie. I don't know what else to say. Speaking of which, I noticed we didn't have it on our list, but reminded me of it. What about Pineapple Express? Can we add that to the list?
That one's funny. I
think
Anchorman too. Anchorman too. Zach, what's your love with Anchorman?
Not number 2. I'm saying Anchorman. Also.
Oh, we have Anchorman on here.
We're not
Anchorman's on there.
Oh, it is. Okay, I never ranked it.
We could add Pineapple Express. I mean, I think I've seen it once.
I think we kind of have to.
I just added it.
I mean, it's like a prime Seth Rogen movie. Like, it's like the perfect Seth Rogen movie. So it's either, I mean, I feel like Seth Rogen's one of those guys where like you either love him or you him? Because I've talked to people who like absolutely
Who
hate
hates Seth Rogen?
I don't think anyone hates Seth Rogen. Dude.
I know some people who hate Seth Rogen.
You might not find it funny, but like I don't think anyone.
I mean, I like
After this podcast is over,
Anyone has a
Tegan, give me
burning
those
dick.
names. We're gonna have one.
What do we have next? Hangover.
Oh God.
Hangover. I think we're gonna have some disagreements here. Probably.
You know, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and start on The Hangover. This is my S tier movie.
Jesus.
This is my one S tier movie, and I know that's gonna be controversial. Some of you guys who have watched it recently, especially, don't like it. But Mike, I know we talked about this earlier. I've got the one word that best describes this movie is Alan. Alan is one of the greatest movie characters of all time. Zach Galifianakis plays him perfectly. There's just so many like ridiculously random and funny scenes, but the plot is still like there throughout. That like the trio or like the four guys, main actors, absolutely hilarious. I love Bradley Cooper too. Ed Helms is great. So that's why this movie tops my list.
Yeah, I wouldn't quite be. I'm not quite as high on it as you are. I give it a B, to be honest. Like you said, I think Alan is undoubtedly the best part of this movie. Like literally any scene with him in it. I think Bradley Cooper's character is actually pretty funny too.
Yeah.
But this is an A tier just because like, I think Ed Helms' character is just kind of like he's all right. He's just kind of there. I feel like he could have been funnier. Just based off of like him in The Office as Andy, like he's okay in this movie. There are some scenes, like the scene with Ken Jeong where they find him in the back of the car.
That's funny.
That's just absolute classic. But I feel like there's not those memorable scenes that like make it an A. And this is just personal opinion. I don't think there are as many of those as there are in something in like Anchorman or 21 Jump Street. But yeah, I go for this.
I mean, I think I disagree with you a little bit, Mike. I mean, I feel like there are memorable scenes. Like I watched it the other week for the first time, and I thought it was okay, which is why I have it as a D tier movie. But I think that is
blasphemous. That is just blasphemous.
I won't watch it again. I did not like it at all. It was just wasn't like. Alan's character is so overrated. Like you guys are like, Alan's the greatest character to ever like grace a scene and
I'm about to walk off, dude. I'm done.
This was that good. Like I think Bradley Cooper's character was like the only thing holding this movie together. And then like you said, Ed Helms' character was just like mostly annoying for the whole time. Wasn't that funny? And like Alan was okay. I didn't think it was that funny at all. I thought like you said, like the car scene was like hilarious, but like other than that, like I didn't find myself laughing very much during this movie.
Yeah, I'm completely with Sam. I just don't think it's funny. I don't think it's that funny, and maybe it's because I only saw it the first time like 3 or 4 years ago, but I just never thought it was that funny, and so it's also on the D tier for me.
Okay.
Well, I thought my take was going to be hot, but it's no longer hot at all. I mean, I think it's still an iconic movie just because it's, I think it's a very funny and clever plot to sort of just have like a comedy of like a bunch of guys getting completely wasted, not remembering what happened last night and like retracing their steps. That's really cool. I have to go with Mike though. I don't think there's a memorable scene here. I don't think you come back to a certain scene. And I think it lacks a certain depth that A and B tier comedies have. It's a good movie though, so I'm not gonna go all the way down to D. I'll give it a C tier ranking because I think I like it, but it's not one that I would want to go watch tonight, for example.
So what tier did you give it again? C?
C, yeah.
Dave, I don't know what you're talking about with that original plot. Have you ever seen the movie Dude, Where's My Car from like 10 years before? Exact same plot.
Well, maybe I don't know.
I obviously haven't seen that, or else I would have said that. But,
you just bamboozled him, dude. You just completely bamboozled him.
Well, maybe.
Sorry, I know you're a big Dude, Where's My Car enthusiast.
I don't know.
Not that good. Dude, Where's My Car is not good.
All right. Dodgeball next.
Oh God.
Oh baby.
Mort wishes he had 2 S tiers, but we only gave him 1.
Yeah, that's fine. Dodgeball's an A for me. It's an A tier movie. I think like Ben Stiller is like weirdly hilarious in this movie. I like Vince Vaughn. Like I basically like any Vince Vaughn movie. I think he's really good. Um, like it's just really like funny from start to finish. The plot is like completely ridiculous. There are kind of at the end of the movie a ton of like hilarious scenes, like the one with Lance Armstrong. Like there's the announcer of the dodgeball tournament. They find so many ways to bring random comedy into it. While the plot is still kind of like heartwarming as well. So I've got to give it an
A.
Mike, go ahead.
All right, I'll go. Look, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the biggest Ben Stiller fan in the world. I think he's just like, he doesn't really do it. Like, I think he's all right. I don't think he's a bad comedic actor by any means, but he's kind of okay. And like, kind of for that reason, I give this a C, put this in the C tier. I'm also not the biggest Vince Vaughn guy. I don't think, again, kind of like the thing I was arguing with The Hangover, there aren't like, I think in this movie, there are less memorable scenes even. Like I'm not like going back to this movie to watch something. I think it's fine, but it doesn't really do it for me.
Sounds like a D tier movie then, Mike.
Okay.
By our standards. I have it as a D tier movie because I think like it's one I'd watched and I thought it was like okay, but again, like I'm not gonna watch it again. I did watch like 4 or 5 years ago, to be fair, but like it wasn't. Again, like Ben Stiller is very hit or miss, and it really depends on the movie for me with him. And I thought he was like okay, but like kind of a little off-putting in this movie. But I think that was kind of the point. But again, I just didn't really love this movie, and I haven't watched it since. So I think I got to put it D tier.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the C tier. But I think me and Mike clearly have different scales because I actually really like this movie. I've seen it like 10 times probably at least. And but like for me, C tier movies are just like the ones on this list that aren't the very best. And so I'm putting it in the C tier, but I actually really like the movie.
Mike, you gonna rethink your decision at all?
Well, I mean, I would argue like maybe I'd put in the D tier, but like I guess that's fair to be honest, because like I think it's fine. Like I don't think it's bad by any means. But I haven't seen it more than once, so yeah.
That's what my D tier is. My D tier, I don't dislike the movies. I like them.
I'd probably go D then. Probably go D.
I think Dodgeball's the epitome of the C tier movie. I think it's good. It's not great. But it is like very good. I think some of the like just the most quotable lines are from there, like the dip, dodge, duck, dive, and dodge, or whatever it is. Like, it's just like hilarious, like dialogue throughout. And Vince Vaughn is really good, and some of the side characters are good, and Bateman's great as the announcer, like Mort said. So yeah, I mean, it's a good movie. It's not like an excellent comedy, but it's a very good comedy.
Anchorman. I'll start off. This is an A tier movie for me. Will Ferrell. This movie is just iconic. And this is the closest I think to an S tier, other than. For me, like if I could have a second S tier, this would be it. Actually, no, Step Brothers would be, but we'll get to that later. Will Ferrell is hilarious. Just like there's so many iconic scenes, like when they're in the newsroom when he and Veronica are like exchanging jabs. There's so many like quotable lines from that, and then like the ending where they're in the zoo is just so funny. I mean, there's this movie is just nonstop laughs. And it's also just like a heartwarming ending as well. So I think it's like the complete comedy.
Yeah, I'm also putting it in the A tier. Same reason as Sam.
Yeah, I would have to go A tier too. Like the main four guys, especially I think Paul Rudd is hilarious. Paul Rudd and Steve Carell. Like the main four cast, I think that's like the best part of it. It just completely elevates it to A tier. Also, it's very quotable too. Like I would argue this could be the most quotable movie on this list.
Brick is just like a national treasure too. Like here's the thing, like Steve Carell, like I like him. I didn't like love him in The Office, and I haven't finished watching The Office, but I got through like a couple seasons, and then didn't really like Steve Carell in The Office.
What?
But I loved
Hey,
Brett.
we
What?
cannot just let him get away with that.
It's like
One more word out of you. You're on your own
the most
podcast.
anti-consensus opinion.
I'm just saying, like I didn't like The Office. Like it just was like not. I don't know. Like Steve
Yeah.
character was just like
Okay, Mr. Outer Banks, get out of here.
Okay, Dave.
This is like a coded TV show.
Let's not
Outerbank's not good.
let's not rip Outer Banks. It's not
Outer Banks sucks.
Oh my god. All right, let's stick with movies then.
I'm just saying, like I think Brick is a great character.
Damn, your TV opinions are almost as bad as Mort's movies opinions.
Speaking Bix, speaking of that, Bix, I think you should go before me because I'm about to drop a bomb on you guys.
I don't even want to hear what Mort's about to say. Anchorman's an A-tier movie. It's easily an A-tier movie. Great characters, great plot, great everything, great dialogue. And my hot take is that Anchorman 2 would also be an A-tier movie if it was on this list, which it's not. But yeah, great movie.
That is hot.
Mort, give us your cold ass take.
You know, obviously you guys are all putting this as a top tier movie, so I feel like I'm like something is wrong with me a little bit, and I'm gonna chalk my rating up to the fact that I haven't seen this movie for a long time. But I actually have this as a D tier movie.
Wow.
I think it's good, but I don't think it's great. I don't like Paul Rudd as an actor, generally.
Oh my!
So I'm giving this a D.
Paul Rudd's like one of the most likable guys too, and you just don't like him as an actor.
Yeah.
God.
I don't know.
Jeez.
The other guys. I have not seen this movie, so I will not speak on this movie.
Okay.
Also,
tonight.
I would put this in I'd put this in B tier. I think the combination, like I'm not a huge Mark Wahlberg fan. Like I really don't think he's a great actor. But I think him and Will Ferrell in this are just perfect. I love Will Ferrell's character. I love Michael Keaton too as a police captain. Like the classic TLC references. They're talking. That's one of the best bits out there, I think. The Yankee Clipper too. That's hilarious. And then the one where he's talking about like a lion going off the shore to like go eat fish or something. That's
coming onto land.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'd probably put this A tier. Like, I don't want to give too many A tier, but like, I just don't think there's like anything wrong with this movie, to be honest. Like, I don't think there's anything that's just like not funny or cliche or.
Yeah, for me, I'm putting it in the B tier. I really like it, so it's in the B tier. But the reason I didn't put it in the A tier is just because I think after the first half of the movie really falls off, and like I kind of noticed that with a lot of these movies, where like the second half of this movie, like when Will Ferrell becomes a traffic cop, it just gets so slow and boring, and it's just like that part of the movie is probably like C. First half's probably an A, so I just balances out to a B for me.
Yeah, I'm with Mike. I know I've given like a couple A's already. I don't want to give too many A's, but this is actually I think this is a real A movie. It might be on the lower end of the A scale, but
I agree with that.
I think it's an A movie. I agree, Zach, that it's not, the second half isn't as good as the first half, but I think like there are some just really, really funny scenes. Mike the Lion Tuna one is hilarious. So I think this is a real A movie.
Yeah, I mean, I had it B as well, and then I was just looking at compared to the other B ones, and it's just a step above them. I mean, just the random stuff, like just like how Alan Gamble's always getting like the hottest women, despite it being like Will Ferrell. It's just like the funniest thing ever. And then like also the Little River Band, I got 6 discs up in here. Like that actually like made me look up Little River Band, and when they came in through Minnesota like to perform last year, I got meet and greet tickets with my other buddy who loves the movie. So we like met Little River Band just because of the movie. So I have to give it the A tier.
God, I have to see this movie. If it's like unanimously an A and B tier movie, like gotta watch this.
Yeah, you should.
Yep.
So Wedding Crashers for me. Um, fell out,
Yeah.
but I rewatched it like about a week ago, and I just realized it's more of a romantic movie than these like classic comedies. It's more about like Owen Wilson like falling in love with Rachel McAdams. So I'll put it in the B tier, but I would have put it in the C tier probably a couple weeks ago before we watched it.
Yeah. I'd say something similar. I think I like it a little less than you do. I watched it a couple years ago. Like I thought it was, again, like I'm not the biggest Vince Vaughn fan. I think Owen Wilson's pretty funny in it too. I'm not a huge rom-com guy, but like I watched it. I think it's good. It's not D tier. It's not bad enough to be D tier. I just have to say, like, pretty solid C tier.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've watched this movie, I think, once. I remember liking it. I think I like Vince Vaughn a little more than you do, Mike, but I don't remember a whole lot about this movie, but I remember Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn are funny and they have good chemistry in this movie. But I don't remember loving it, so I think this has just got to go C tier for me.
Yeah, you guys don't like Vince Vaughn. I like Vince Vaughn. I think the Vince Vaughn Owen Wilson combo is really good. I actually don't. I think they're actually better as a combo in The Internship, which we don't have on here. But I still think they're good in this movie. I'd give it a B.
Yeah, I agree with Mort. I think it's a B tier movie, but like a high B tier. I think it's like very, very good. I think it does have like a lot of really memorable scenes, like the one with Will Ferrell is like talking to Owen Wilson in his bathroom. He's like, "Ma, where's the meatloaf?" Like it's just like hilarious. And then, yeah, I mean, I do think The Internship should be on here as well, but this is very good. And I'm a big Vince Vaughn guy. I could debate Mike on that. But.
All right.
Happy Gilmore. This is easily an A tier movie for me. Adam Sandler, I think, gets an unnecessary amount of hate, especially for like prior to Uncut Gems for his recent performances, because he had like a bunch of like pretty bad movies. Jack and Jill, Pixels, like it was not a great. But like this is like peak Adam Sandler comedy, along with Billy Madison. But like Scooter McGavin's just like a great antagonist. He's just so funny, and then like all the with like the putt-putt scene, and like there's so many quotable scenes and memorable scenes from this movie. It's like it's got to be an A tier for me.
Can you guys remind me what everybody's Wedding Crashers ranking was? I missed one of them.
Mine was C.
Oh,
I put C too.
2 C's, 2 B's, and then what was the other one?
I think Slavitt, were you a B?
Yeah, I was a B. Is it 3 B's?
3 B's, yeah.
Okay. All right. So back to Happy Gilmore though. I'm giving Happy Gilmore a B tier, and this one I feel like it just doesn't really hold up as well as some of the other movies. Like some of the stuff with, I forget his name, but with Sandler's golfing coach, it's just like not funny. Like they're doing all this like happens.
Are you talking about Chubb?
Yeah.
And I just don't think that stuff like really that funny anymore. So it just like didn't really hold up that well for me.
I'd put this in the B too. I think this is pretty close to peak Sandler. I think another funny scene in this movie is with it's like the quilting sweatshop thing with Ben Stiller, where he like takes all the old women and makes I think that's a hilarious scene. But like, I think Sandler's good in this. It doesn't, like Zach said, it doesn't hold up to me as much as some of the other ones.
Yeah, I agree with Mike. I think it's a C, which I think it's like C's are still good movies, but I think it's a good movie. It's just like not spectacular. Just not very good today. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm completely with you, Dave. I think it's a good movie. I'd also give it a C. I mean, I think this is Sandler near his best. I love the old guy in the woods, like yelling at him during like the pro-am.
And then the fight.
Yeah, and then they fight each other. Yeah. He fights Bob Barker. But yeah, I think it's a good movie, but I still think it's a C.
All right.
Billy Madison.
What do we have next?
Billy Madison.
All right. Well, okay, I can start with this one. Kind of similar to Happy Gilmore. I think Sandler is a little bit worse in this movie than he is in Happy Gilmore. But I think I put this as a C. Like I think his acting is pretty funny in this, just with how stupid he is, how stupid the plot is. But I think like the thing about Happy Gilmore, though, I like the plot a bit better. Like you're kind of like rooting for Sandler for Happy in the movie. And I feel like with Billy Madison, it's just kind of like, okay, well, I don't really care what happens. It's just funny to see him act stupid. Yeah. Now, I think when he's acting stupid, it is really funny. The Today Junior scene, all-time classic. But yeah, I think Sandler's good in this. I don't like the plot as much. It's still good, so I'd go C.
I'm going B here. I like this movie a lot. I do agree that I think Happy Gilmore's better, and I think Sandler's a little better in this one. I think part of the reason, like, the stupid plot, like, works for me. You know what I mean? But I think like Sandler's character is a little bit less likable in this movie because he's a little more stuck up, right? And but I think it's hilarious to see him acting stupid, and there's a lot of quotable parts and memorable scenes. And I do like this movie a lot, so I got to give it a B tier.
I'd just like to take a moment to point out that Degan has Billy Madison above Anchorman. But with that being said, Billy Madison is a C tier.
No. I said B tier. I have Anchorman as an A tier. I have.
What was the one you had a terrible ranking for?
Hangover.
Hangover.
Oh. Hangover.
Movie takes are okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Billy Madison's a D tier movie though. Without the Today Junior, D. Yeah. Without Today Junior or the one like Jeopardy scene where he's like, "It's the stupidest answer I've ever heard." Like,
yeah.
But without those, the movie is just kind of boring, to be honest. It's a little long, and it doesn't really get a good pace in at any point.
Yeah, I also put it in the D tier. I pretty much liked every Adam Sandler movie when I was young, but I never liked this one. I just thought it was really stupid and not that funny. And I haven't watched it in a long time, but I assume it doesn't hold up because of the type of humor.
Yeah.
Do you like Jack and Jill more?
I don't like Jack and Jill either.
Okay.
I think the thing with Billy Madison, though, it's like it's really one of those movies, like if you'd rewatch it now, it just wouldn't hit the same, the humor. Just kind of like we've been saying, just how stupid it is.
What was your ranking, Mike?
I said C.
No, I haven't given mine yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mike, I agree. I actually watched this movie pretty recently, and I agree that it doesn't hit the same. I'd give it a D as well, along with Zach and David. I think, like, Sandler's funny, but I think a lot of the time he's just too stupid for me. I know Mike likes, and I guess, like, that kind of transitions perfectly to our next movie, because I know Mike likes adult actors acting like children. So we can get into our next movie, I guess.
I'm assuming that means Step Brothers next.
Yeah.
So I would put this in the S tier any day of the week. I think John C. Reilly is like, I don't know if I won't say he's underrated, but I feel like he should be in more movies like this.
I think he's underrated.
Yeah.
I'd say he's underrated. Yeah.
Like the whole drum, like the "Don't Touch My Drum Set," the bunk beds. I mean, just any scene in this movie is just the best. I think this is Will Ferrell's best movie. Like I said, John C. Reilly's like, I think he's just fantastic in this. Like, I can't really think of like another great comedy that he's in, which kind of is a shame because I feel like he's a really funny guy. But yeah, I know it doesn't work. Like, there's one really bad movie with Ferrell and John C. Reilly. Yeah. I know like that dynamic doesn't always work, but it really works in this movie too, I think. And then this is directed by the same guy who directed Anchorman, right? Does anybody know?
It might be.
I think it is.
I can look it
I
up.
know, the director of Step Brothers I know is like a legit director. He
Yeah, he did the
was like director of Vice and Big Short, I think.
Adam
Adam
McKay.
McKay. Yeah. He's like a legit director.
Yeah, he's good. Wow.
Yeah.
Those-
He directed
He's
Anchorman too.
So yeah, this is my one S tier, Step Brothers.
I think
Yeah.
this is totally fair. If I had 2 S tiers, it'd probably go to this and Superbad. This movie is one of the most rewatchable movies out there. There's so many iconic scenes. You know, the ending scene with the song, and then also like when the 2 brothers are trying to like sabotage. What's his name? Is the annoying brother?
The older one.
The guy who plays Ben Wyatt and Parks and Rec.
Adam Scott?
Yeah, but like he's like, you know, they keep doing like these ridiculous things to like disrupt him like selling this home because he doesn't want the parents to sell the home, and then also like the boats and hose scene is just so funny, and it's just like, I don't know. I think this movie is fantastic, and it's one I could just like watch at any point.
Also, the scene with Adam Scott and his family singing in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Like, other
but it
than
works.
Yeah. I mean, other than Superbad, this is the closest there is to not having like a boring or like unfunny moment. Like it's just like every single thing. Like it just starts off with like the hilarious scene with Will Ferrell in the backseat of the car, like saying, "Well, I'm not gonna call him dad. Like I wouldn't expect you to. You're like 28." And then like they're like, eating dinner, and like, last time I heard that, I fell off my dinosaur. Like every single scene is just like every line is just so funny.
Dude,
yeah,
I haven't seen it like a couple months. Like I gotta watch
it.
I
don't think it's the best comedy on the list, but I think it's the funniest movie on the list. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as good as Superbad, but I think it's actually
That's
funny.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah, this
A tier from me.
You know, I go back, like, I don't like this. I don't love this as much as Mike does. I think it's hilarious. The bunk bed scene's like so funny. I know Mike loves the part like, "Hey, I never asked. Do you like guacamole?" Then he like jumps on like,
right before he jumps on the bed.
Like, I think that scene's hilarious.
So much room for activities.
Yeah. I go back and forth. Like I've already given like a fair amount of A's, but I feel like I have to give this movie an A. It's not like my favorite A that I've given, but I feel like it would be disrespectful to not give this an A.
David, you gave it an A, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I never really liked this movie.
Wow.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Oh my god.
So I was gonna rewatch it today. And I was between D and C, but I decided I'd give it the benefit of the doubt.
It's criminal.
Oh my
I think
god.
I'm gonna be sick, dude.
I'm giving it a C. It's not that bad.
That's even worse than Mort's D for Anchorman.
It's not. I like the C tier movies.
You were being awfully quiet. I was like, why is he being quiet? He definitely has a hot take about this movie. I didn't think you'd give it a C.
It's not that bad. I like my C tier movies.
No, at least he likes it. It'd be one thing if he just didn't like it at all.
I think it's deserving of a rewatch for you, Zach.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I mean, yeah. Honestly,
for a rewatch.
This is deserving of a rewatch for everyone. Like,
Yeah.
If anyone needs some laughs or some comedy like in their life, just flip on Step Brothers.
The job interview scene too is just so funny. Like we've said like 8 scenes like already in this movie just on this. Like imagine, yeah.
Like the 25-second fart in the job.
Or like shut your mouth. Shut.
Okay.
Right.
Good stuff.
42
Jump Street.
Yeah.
The next one. Yeah. I've been thinking about it over the course of this podcast, and like, kind of like, because I mixed up like the funny scenes earlier. So that scene goes for this movie too, or goes for this movie. I know I've been giving out a lot of A's, but I feel like this is deserving too, just because of the fact that like it's literally just as good as 21 Jump Street. Like the scene where they're trying to talk Mexican, and I think it's Channing Tatum's character. He's like, "My name is Yev" or something. That's a classic.
That was 22. That was 22 Jump Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I thought it was 21.
The prison scene with Rob Riggle's character, the gym teacher. That's another good one. Actually, you know what? I probably wouldn't give this A. I'd probably give this B. I feel like it's really close to A, just because I think it's like almost as good as 21 Jump Street, but I don't know. It's not quite there for me.
Mike, have you given any C's and D's?
Yes, I've given a couple.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I really like this movie. Another scene I like is the ending where they're showing like all the potential sequels. It's like culinary school, semester at sea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm giving it a C just because I don't know, it's not my favorite, but I really like it.
I'm going to see too. I mean, I think I've seen it once or twice, and I remember it being pretty good, but I don't think I remember liking it nearly as much as I liked the first one. So I got to go see here.
I think the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mo.
All right. Yeah, I think I agree with Degnan. I think it's a little tough to follow 21 up. I think some of the humor in 22 was a little bit forced. You know, it's a good movie. I still like it, and I'd still watch it again, but I'll give it a C as well.
I think the top scenes of 22 line up with the top scenes of 21, but the rest of the movie doesn't hold up as much, and that's just because, I mean, I think 21 was just such a unique movie to begin with, and 22 is kind of a replica of that, so I give it a C. It's a very good movie, but it's not 21 level in my mind.
All right.
Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights. I remember. I think I've seen this like once or twice. I remember liking this, but I don't remember loving it. I've got to go see here. I don't really remember a lot about it though. I mean, it's Will Ferrell, so it's like still gonna be a good movie, and I'm still gonna enjoy it. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah. For me, I feel the same way about this as the other guys, just where the second half really falls off. I do really like it, so I put in the C tier. And also, I'm going back. I'm retroactively moving Step Brothers down to the D tier because I realized like these are not in the same level for me.
Oh my
Wow.
God!
So I can't put this on the same level.
Dude,
Oh
my God.
no. I'd kind of put this. I've been wavering between a C and a D. Like, I don't think it's bad. I wouldn't say it's D level, so I'd probably have to go C. I haven't seen it in a while, to be honest. I don't remember it like perfectly well. I don't remember like laughing like, hysterically the whole time or anything. I think the dinner table scene is a classic.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
The quick
The
prayer.
Big Red commercial.
The prayer. So
I think it's good. I remember it being good. Definitely a lot of movies I'd rewatch over it, but I think it's good, so I'd go C.
yeah, I'm right with you, Mike. The dinner table scene's my favorite. I think it's good, but not superb, so I'd give it a C as well.
I think it'd be criminal to even compare this to Step Brothers. I think Zach should be ashamed of himself for even using those two movies in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Maybe just go take a break, walk around the house, whatever you have to do to clear your head. This is a D tier movie, and I think that's being generous. It's a funny movie, but that's it. No plot. There's no character development, and it's
There's definitely plot.
way far away from
There's
Step
obviously
Bro.
character development.
Well, agree to disagree.
I mean, was that the closest we've had to an F tier movie?
Or what'd you
Vince?
give it? What'd you
I
give
gave
it?
I think that's the closest
give
we
it a
have
C?
to an F tier
C.
movie.
It got a C for us. We don't have anything that averaged to a D yet.
I know, but Bix almost gave it an F tier.
Yeah. For me, it's the closest I've had. It's between
Yeah,
that
I
and
would have
Billy
thought you
Miller.
liked that movie.
It's a good movie. It's just kind of boring, to be honest. And some of the jokes don't hit.
The second
in my
half really
opinion.
is not good. I'll agree with that.
This is the end. Mike, let's have you start since you love this movie.
Yeah, I'm realizing I like a lot of movies on this list.
But they're like the best comedies. Like that's fine.
Like everybody
I mean,
likes
these are all good though. To be fair, like I'm not just gonna give
Yeah.
something a D or C just for the sake of it,
You got to balance out the list, Mike. It's relative to the movies on the list.
I'd give this one a B. I think the core cast is like I'm not a huge James Franco fan or Seth Rogen, to be honest. I think Seth Rogen's good. He doesn't I don't think he's like the funniest guy out there. Jonah Hill, a lot of love for Jonah Hill again. Craig Robinson, I think his character is hilarious in this too. Danny McBride as well. I think just like the whole premise of like everyone playing themselves, I think that's just hilarious. It's really like it has like some really deep themes for comedy with like well, they're not presented as being deep, but like the whole thing with like hell coming into life or whatever. Yeah, I would put this at a B, just mainly because of the core cast. I think they work pretty well together.
I'm going D here. This movie, I remember like liking it, but I don't think I loved it. I'm with you. Like, I'm not a huge James Franco fan, and I like Seth Rogen, but like, I don't think he can carry a movie on his own. I think it's like unique in that like they have the actors like play themselves, which is like because they do that in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like unique in that, but then it's also like a really dark tone, but then also like trying to be funny at the same time. And I feel like that can work, but I don't really remember it clicking for me. So I haven't watched it since. So I'm going to D tier movie here.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen this movie. I like James Franco and Seth Rogen in The Interview. So maybe I'd like this one, but I have not yet seen it.
Yeah, for me, I'm also going D tier. Maybe I need to rewatch it. I've only seen it once, but like I just didn't think it was that funny. That was really stupid. Yeah, I considered going F, but not gonna do that.
Yeah,
I'd give it lower C tier. I think it's a good movie. I think like the scene where like he like makes like all of the food they have left for breakfast one morning is hilarious, and like I don't know, like I think these are like really, really good actors. So I think it's a very good cast, like good movie. Just not quite as good as it could have been, maybe.
yeah. So our next movie is Don't Mess with the Zohan, and I'll just start by disappointing David Bix and telling everyone that I have not seen this movie.
I think I'm gonna disappoint Bix too, but in a different way. I'm gonna give this a D. Now, to be honest, I know that might be blasphemous to Bix, but like I watched this on Netflix like a couple months ago, and like I didn't laugh for like the first hour. Maybe the opening beanbag scene was kind of funny, but like it just doesn't hit for me. I don't think Adam Sandler is that funny in this movie. Definitely quotable. Some good quotes, but I think it's like it's just kind of I'd go D. I don't think there's a lot of memorable scenes in this movie, to be honest, either. There's one that I'm thinking of. There's one I know that's pretty memorable. Where he's like chasing the guy in the church. He walks into the church. Bix, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, Jaku, you maniac. I know that scene.
Outside of that though, like I couldn't tell you what happened the rest of the movie, to be honest.
I'm gonna disappoint Bix even further. I'm gonna give this an F. Our first F.
You haven't seen the full movie. You can't.
Yeah, because I had to turn it off. I did the same thing.
That's fair, Dave. That's fair.
That's fair. If you have to turn it off, like that's F.
Like it was not. I don't think I remember laughing. I remember maybe chuckling like at the beanbag scene, and then other than that, it's just like not funny. Like, you know when I was talking about how Adam Sandler had a rough patch like in like the mid 2000s, like this was the epitome of the rough patch, and like the funny things that I remember about this movie come from you, David, and you like repeating them in like Xbox parties or whatever. It's just like not from the movie itself. So for that, I gotta give it our first F.
I'm gonna go after Mr. Outer Banks himself. Terrible take from Mike and Dag. At least Mike was a little more respectful. This is my S tier movie. I think it's the greatest comedy ever made. I think it's the greatest movie ever made. I think I've watched it about 20 times, and I might just go and watch it tonight because I can. It's on Netflix, which is lovely news. I think it's the most hilarious movie with so many good scenes. And it got even funnier when I visited Israel as well, because it's like making fun of like all these different things, and Israelis think it's hilarious, and like it's like the funniest thing ever for them too. I think it's incredibly funny. I think it's Adam Sandler's best movie he's ever been in, and the best he's ever acted in a movie. And
Better than
I think
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems, really? Are we doing this now?
I think okay. It's a better movie than Uncut Gems. I think he did a better job in Uncut Gems. Yeah.
What? It's a better movie
Don't
than
mess with the Zohan. Don't mess with the Zohan's the greatest movie of all time. Then.
Okay.
Let me go. All right, Dave. I think I know what's happening here. I think we're joined an anti-Semitic podcast.
That's what's happening.
No, but actually,
teaming with anti.
Oh no.
Actually,
the movie is bad. A movie is bad.
The movie did not age that well. I used to really like it. Now it's a C tier, so pretty good. The jokes didn't age that well. It's just such stupid.
That's what I was saying. Like I don't remember any of it. Honestly,
It's just like stupid jokes. Like I don't know how you think Jacoya Maniac is funny.
What I'd say is if you become in touch with your like goofy, more playful side, the jokes are like the funniest thing ever, and I think that's an important thing to get into the habit of.
Oh, so you just called Zach not playful at all? You just basically said,
no, I called Degnan taking himself too seriously in
how
the
am I
movie
taking?
review
Bix,
for not liking the
like,
Zohan
I'm not
joke.
taking myself. The movie was just not good, Bix.
Yeah, you've been known to take yourself seriously.
Bix, the movie was just not good. So let's just.
We're attacking people's character in here.
Bix came after me, bro. Like
by attacking Zohan, you attack me.
If you're gonna attack someone's character,
okay.
attack Mort's opinions on movies.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Zach, what's your rating?
I gave it a 3. I gave it a C.
Okay. Let's see. What do we have next year?
Wait, what'd you say?
I haven't seen it. I'm gonna have to go watch that. Bix, it's on Netflix, right?
It is.
Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time.
No, Mort would like it. Mort would like it. His type of humor.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard from Dave, I feel like I'd like it. So I'm gonna have to watch it at some point.
Mort's not an anti-Semite like you, Mike.
Okay, all right. No accusations like that. No accusations. What do we have? Grown-ups?
Yeah.
Grown-ups.
So I'll start with this. I liked this movie a lot when I was a kid, but to be honest, like I think I watched it like 3 or 4 years ago for whatever reason, and it was just god awful to me. I don't know why. The cast, like I think it's Adam Sandler, David Spade, Kevin James, Chris Rock. I might be forgetting someone else, but like outside of Adam Sandler, like I think Sandler's really hit or miss too. Like there are movies where he's just not funny in the slightest. I'd give this an F, to be honest. That may be disrespectful. I know a lot of people actually do like this movie. They view it as a classic. But I feel like everyone in the main cast of like Spade, Chris Rock, Sandler, Kevin James, they're just not funny, to be honest. I think this is about as like cliche as a comedy gets too, at the same time. Which like, I think a lot of these comedies are cliche in parts, but like too much of it is just like, it just ruins the whole thing. So I'd give this an F. I don't think I could quote a single line from this, and I've seen it like probably 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be as harsh as Mike, but I'm gonna give this movie a D. I haven't watched it for a while. I don't remember being that engaged in it. I don't remember laughing that much, which is obviously not a good thing for a comedy. The cast isn't like my favorite, so yeah, I'm gonna give it a D.
I'm gonna go a C here, mostly because I've seen it like maybe twice. I haven't seen it any within the last 5 years, and I think it was a B tier movie when I was younger. But I'm assuming it's just not aged well at all. I remember Spade being pretty funny, and I think Chris Rock was kind of funny too. But I don't remember it being like all that, like an A tier type movie. So I think it's, for me, a C.
More, what was yours again? What was your ranking?
I gave it a D.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I'm giving it a C. Like Mike, I really liked it when I was younger. Actually, I'm giving it a B. I misread. But yeah, so I liked it a lot when I was really young, and I actually think it kind of does hold up. And it's just like more of a fun movie than it is necessarily funny. It's just like kind of fun, like the water park and the basketball game. It's just fun to watch.
Yeah, I'd say my take is somewhere between Zach and Mike's, where I think, like Mike, I think it was a lot funnier when I was younger, and I thought it was the funniest thing ever, and it kind of aged a little poorly. But like Zach, I think I watch it more just because it's kind of an enjoyable watch than for like the great, lines or anything. I think there are like really funny, genuinely funny scenes, like just like Spade's relationship with this like grandma and like Kevin James and Adam Sandler, like drinking the milk jugs full of water, like simultaneously at like 2 a.m. Like I think those are both pretty good. So I'm a
Yeah, I
C
think you're
tier.
talking about Rob Schneider with the grandma.
Yeah, it's Rob Schneider with the grandma, which is
We
even
all
funnier.
know Rob Schneider is just one of the worst actors ever.
He's dude, I've never laughed at any Rob Schneider thing, like ever, honestly.
He's so bad.
This is 40-year-old virgin next.
Hey, did you give it a 3?
Yeah, I gave it a C.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, Mike, 40-year-old virgin is next. I'm gonna start. Can I start with this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want you guys to rebuttal because I know you guys think pretty highly of this. This is the only F on my list.
Oh my God.
Dude.
Now, this was a long time ago.
God.
I watched this a long time ago, but this is the only movie on the list that I was sitting on the couch watching. And
Hang on. Can I interrupt you for a sec? If you watched it a long time ago, how much of it did you really understand?
It wasn't, I wouldn't like a lot, like I was old enough. It wasn't like 10, 12 years ago. It was like probably like 5 or 6. But I feel like I remember understanding like the concept of the movie, and I actually like got up and just left the room when it was going. So like that's why it's my only F.
I have not seen this movie, so I will not take a
I
stance.
can go. Mort, forget watching Zohan. This is next up on your rewatch list. To rate this as F is a tragedy to all comedies. This is an A-tier movie. This is one of Steve Carell's best performances, one of Seth Rogen's best performances. I know you don't like Paul Rudd for whatever reason, but one of his best performances. It's just a hilarious movie. The whole concept is hilarious. I mean, I don't know. It's just like a fantastic. I didn't see it till like 2 years ago. It was pretty late, but I just think it's one of the most quotable, one of the funniest like rewatching scenes type movies there is.
Yeah, and I feel like this is a movie, like I know I gave it an F, but I feel like if I rewatched it now, like this movie, the way I see this movie could dramatically change. So let's call it a temporary F.
Wow.
Okay. I'm going to give it a C. I don't know. It's pretty good. Not my favorite, but I like it.
I'm going to give this a B. I think for me, it's close to A. I'd say it's like borderline A. I would actually think this is also Steve Carell's best performance. Seth Rogen is kind of for me in this movie. I think Paul Rudd's like okay too, but like all the funny scenes come from Steve Carell's character, I'd say. The main cast is fine. But I'm actually going to use this to transition into today's MRR, which we will be doing my favorite comedic actors. We can feel free to debate this or not. So yeah, best comedic actors. I first want to start off by giving a shout out to, or an honorable mention to, Zach Galifianakis. I think because I love Alan this is mainly why I'm doing this. I love Alan from The Hangover. I think he gets his own honorable mention, to be honest. His character in which we'll get to I think in a little bit, but Dinner for Schmucks, his character is kind of funny even though he's in it for like 5 minutes. Yeah, quick shout out to Zach Galifianakis. Number 5, I put Jonah Hill just because of the Jump Street movies, Super Bad. What am I forgetting? Am I forgetting something?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street. He's good in that. It's pretty funny. So yeah, Jonah Hill, number 5. Number 4, I actually have Adam Sandler. Now, Bix, you might want to debate this or not, but I think Adam Sandler, like we've kind of been saying through this whole thing, like he's very hit or miss. Like funny Adam Sandler is like, you know, it's amazing what he can do when when his movie's really good. But like the lows of Adam Sandler, I just think are
very low. Yeah.
Very, very low.
Like Zohan.
No, I think you're right. I think not Degnan. I think Mike is right. That overall Adam Sandler is a very hit or miss actor, and I'm actually not a huge Adam Sandler guy overall. But I thought Zohan was fantastic. But also, I was wondering, did you watch The Campaign with Zach Galifianakis in it? I think that's his best.
I have not. I've seen that a couple. I've heard of it a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not made the move to watch that. But yeah, Sandler number 4. Number 3, this might be a bit of a hot take, and he's not really in a lot of these movies we've talked about. Actually, I don't even know if he's in any of them. But I put Bill Murray number 3. A lot of older movies, Caddyshack. I saw Ghostbusters when I was younger. I thought that was pretty funny. I know it's not on here. I've seen Groundhog Day 2, Space Jam. So yeah, a lot of older movies. I think he's just from the fact that like over Sandler, he's always funny. Like I've never seen a bad Bill Murray movie or bad role. So yeah, I'd put him number 3. Number 2, I'd put Steve Carell. Just based off the fact like what I was saying earlier. His movie, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, I think is like probably his best comedic movie performance. Him as Brick in Anchorman is amazing too. I don't know if we talked the hand grenade and the big battle at the end. He's like, Brick, where'd you get a hand grenade? Just like pulling it out in front. And then I don't know if it's the second one where he's like speaking at his own funeral too.
Yeah, that was funny.
Hilarious. So yeah, Steve Carell 2. Number 1, I got to go Will Ferrell. I just think he's the classic comedic actor. He does have a couple bad movies, but I would say for the most part, everything he's in is pretty hilarious.
Also, Elf. Elf
yeah.
is
Oh yeah,
tier.
Elf 2.
Like it's like one of the best Christmas movies. Like I watch it every year.
Elf, Step Brothers, Anchorman, all classics. Will Ferrell number 1. That's my list. I don't know if you guys have a debate for that.
I agree definitely that Will Ferrell's 1. And when you put Bill Murray on the list, I know somewhere in my basement my dad was celebrating. He's a huge Bill Murray guy. So he'll be happy to know you have Bill Murray on there. I wouldn't put Steve Carell. Like he's great. I really like Steve Carell in The Office, but I generally don't like the movies I've seen him in. I haven't loved him. So I think he's a little high for me, but I don't have huge arguments with your list generally.
Yeah.
Mike, did you give 40-Year-Old Virgin a 4? Is that right?
Well, yeah, a B, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. I think we can go. What do we have after 40-Year-Old Virgin then? Is it Dinner for Schmucks or Reading?
No, it's Napoleon Dynamite.
Okay.
You took Dinner for Schmucks off.
Yeah, I would have given that an F.
Yeah. So Napoleon Dynamite, I actually haven't seen it, so I'll just leave it to you guys.
I think I've seen it once, and I don't really remember liking it, so I'm gonna give it a D. It's just not that funny.
Well, I've seen it a few times. I just don't think it's that good. Don't think it's that funny. Also giving it a D.
I'm gonna give it a C.
What are you giving it? A C?
C, to be honest. I think it's quotable. It's or not quote. It has a couple good memorable scenes. But I think if it's on, I'd watch it. But I think it's fine overall. I haven't seen it in a while. The whole vote for Pedro thing, like the dancing scene at the talent show. Like those are all pretty good. Definitely not some of the best comedy scenes of all time, but solid.
I gave it a B. I think it gets better with every watch. I think some of the scenes are crazy funny, like when Uncle Rico chucks this stake
Oh, yeah,
at
Uncle
Napoleon Dynamite's like face. Like Uncle Rico's whole character is just hilarious. And like Napoleon's brother with his like girlfriend from like over the phone and everything. And then like the last dance scene and like the tater tots in the pocket and feeding the pig bacon and everything. Like I just think it's all hilarious. So yeah.
Okay, last we had Pineapple Express.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give that a 5, A tier.
Love it.
That's my closest to S tier. I really liked it when I was younger. I liked it even more when I watched it the last couple years. Yeah.
I'll go. Okay. I'm gonna give this one a C, to be honest. And now it's because what I've said earlier. I'm not the big like. I think the combo of James Franco and Seth Rogen is just kind of like. I think they're better with each other as opposed to without. But at the same time, I think it's like again. I don't think James Franco is like a great actor, to be honest. I kind of the same as Napoleon Dynamite. I think it probably has a few memorable scenes, but I'm not like. Outside of that, it's just kind of fine to me.
I'd also give this movie a C. I remember liking it. I do think James Franco and Seth Rogen have good chemistry. This is like the perfect Seth Rogen movie. And I do think I think James Franco's a pretty good actor. And I think just like the plot's kind of funny. So I'm gonna give it a C.
Marty?
Big
you didn't see. Okay, I'll give it a very high B. I think it's a hilarious movie. I think some of the scenes, like the fight scenes especially, I think are like really, really good. I just think it's a hilarious movie, just like a really fun watch, especially just like on like a weekend like night, just like the perfect movie to put on. Like a tear down from Superbad, but kind of similar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is another movie I actually haven't seen. I know you guys have all seen it. I would put movies like just a couple, since we're on the end of our list now, I want to throw in like a couple honorable mentions that I would have put in over this. Like Horrible Bosses is a great movie. We're the Millers, another good one. Those are two movies that I would have liked to rank. But yeah, I haven't seen Pineapple Express, so that's another movie I got to watch.
Okay, I'm just finishing up with the collaborative list. So if you guys want to just talk about some other honorable mentions.
One I had actually, this is like some of you guys might disagree. This movie is not rated very high at all. But I'd actually put The Longest Yard on here with Adam Sandler. This is kind of one I'd call like a guilty pleasure movie. It's one you're not proud to say you like. But I think it's kind of like cliche, but I think the whole cast is pretty funny. It's a weird cast too. It's like Nelly, Michael Irvin, Terry Crews, Adam Sandler. It's like a very weird blend of guys, but I think it kind of works, to be honest. I don't know. I like the plot, even though it's very weird, but I like it.
I have two hot honorable mentions that we could have done. I think Ted is a great movie.
Ted is really good.
Like Mark Wahlberg and everything, and like Ted 2 as well. I thought was very good. And then Rush Hour as well, with like Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. I don't know if anyone's seen that, but I like that one a lot.
I got a couple honorable mentions. So like Date Night is like a good like comedy for a family. Tina Fey's pretty funny with it, and I think Steve Carell's pretty good in it too. Watched it the other week.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, you should watch it. You'd like it. And then School of Rock with Jack Black. I think Jack Black's like a little underrated.
Classic.
It's a classic, but I think it's hilarious. I've watched it like 2 or 3 times. And then I don't know if this counts. I'm counting it though. It's an animation. The Lego Movie. I think it's hilarious, and I think it's like really a really, really good movie. Likable characters, and then like Will Ferrell's good in it, and like there's just a lot of like really good voice acting, and it's also like got a really good message at the end, and it's pretty heartwarming. So I'd give it I think I think it's a good honorable mention.
Yeah, speaking of Jack Black, have you guys seen Be Kind Rewind? It's Mos Def, Jack Black.
If not,
If not,
Recommend it. I wouldn't say it's like an A tier, probably a B tier, but it's really good.
Oh, you know what we
Also-
forgot? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Zach.
Click. You guys seen Click?
Click's great.
I know
Super sad movie. It'll make you cry. It'll make you laugh.
I don't want to cry watching a comedy, man. I want to laugh.
Bros, we forgot semi-pro, dude. Ferrell.
Sorry.
Yeah.
C tier.
Yeah, it's a very solid C tier.
Yeah, I'd agree. That's C tier. That's like prime C tier.
All right, I have one question for you guys in terms of the poll. So Zohan and Dodgeball were tied for the last spot in C tier. Just do a quick vote between the movies. Just go down. David, I'm assuming you're Zohan.
Just give them dodgeball. They're gonna pick dodgeball.
Is it Dodgeball?
Yeah, we're
Don't
taking
break my heart a second time.
I'm taking dodgeball.
dodgeball.
Right.
Taking dodgeball.
So we got our tier list done. And at first I was trying to just average things and put it with its average. But then I realized everything was going to be B, C, and D tier. So I just put it so the top average was S tier, and then 4, 4, 4, 4, and then 2 in F tier. So the list, S tier, we got Superbad. A tier, and these are in order from top to bottom within the tier. A tier, The Other Guys, Step Brothers, 21 Jump Street, Anchorman. B tier, we got Happy Gilmore, Pineapple Express, Old School, Wedding Crashers. C tier, The Hangover, 40-Year-Old Virgin, 22 Jump Street, Dodgeball. D tier, Zohan, This Is the End, Talladega Nights, Napoleon Dynamite. And the F tier is Grown Ups and Billy Madison.
I mean, other than Billy Madison, I don't really have any other complaints about that list.
Yeah, I think that's a fair list.
Yeah,
I'm glad we realized how bad of a movie Zohan is. Like, my God.
Yeah, we
Segment's just
we could cut it off before this gets heated.
Segment's piling it on. But yeah, again, I think it's a fair list. Disappointed to see The Hangover and Dodgeball so low, but I think it's a fair list. And obviously, we like all these movies, so even movies that are ranked lower are still movies we think.
Well, we like most of these movies.
We like most of them.
Okay.
Segment, not
do-
another word.
Most-
Not
most-
another word.
You know, I might just go straight into the outro right now. I want to thank Zach and Bix for coming on the show today. It was a lot of fun having you guys on.
Thanks, folks.
Zach, you were a big help with creating the poll and making it work. And Bix, your love of Zohan made things interesting. So thank you. You guys are welcome on at any time. We're actually coming down to the final stretch. So the first season of the What's Buzzin' podcast will conclude Saturday, because this was kind of a 2-week stretch we had to do for our senior program. And then after that, we'll come back sporadically for episodes, a lot more guest speakers, a lot more topics, that we really want to do. Follow us on social media, at What Is the Buzz, at for Insta, for Twitter, at WBuzzin, and then YouTube and Spotify, What's Buzzin'. Thank you guys for watching. Keep buzzing.
Yeah, and anybody who made it to this point in the video, if you text me, I'll give you a prize.